Hey guys, it's Scott here and I'm back with another Black Ops 2 Emblem tutorial. This time we are going to be doing the cartoon version of Karl Pilkington. Now I'll get straight onto the tutorial, but I'll just explain who Karl Pilkington is if you don't know. Basically, he used to be on the Ricky Gervais podcast, then the Ricky Gervais show, which was near enough taken from the podcast. They basically animated a cartoon version of the podcast, so if someone told a weird story they could animate it and you could actually understand what they were talking about. And he's also the star of An Idiot Abroad, which if you haven't seen, I advise you go and watch it because it's pretty funny. So I'm making the cartoon version of Karl from the Ricky Gervais show, which like I said is where they animated the podcast that they recorded. So if he tells weird stories, which he kind of does quite a lot, then they can animate those and bring them to life. So this is what his character looked like on that, and the emblem itself really isn't that difficult, but I will guide you through it because it's a bit more helpful than just trying to watch and understand what I'm doing when it's sped up. But most of the shapes to do with Karl's emblem are just circles. So you saw at the start his head is just a circle, then another smaller circle inside of that. His eyes are just circles which I've elongated. His nose is two circles, and then I've taken a bit out the bottom just by using the skin colour again. And then we go down to his mouth, there's a line that goes down to it, and then I've used a rounded triangle just to sort of get the bottom of the mouth shape like looking a bit better than if I just used a straight edge triangle. And I'm trying to keep this like to as few layers as possible because then I can add a little bit of detail at the top, like with his hair and stuff, which is what you want to do when you create an emblem. You want to use as few layers as possible so you can just have that little bit of detail added into certain parts. So I tried to keep this as true to the photo or the picture that I showed you at the start, which is why I've done certain things like I have, especially the hair that you'll see in a minute. But first, we get to the eyebrows, which are a little bit different from the photo, but I just put them like this because it really doesn't matter. It still looks near enough the same, and I think it still looks decent, so that's why I've done that. But here we go. We get onto the hair, and this is just a little bit of detail. You can add like whatever you want here, but I added them in certain places just to try and keep it as true to that picture as possible. And at the very end, I will show you some gameplay of this emblem on a gun and in the bottom left of your screen for free-for-all, so you'll see that. And I will also, from recommendation from my mate Rob, show this compared to the original picture that I have got the emblem from, because that shows how true I've kept it to that picture and to see how good it actually is, because some of them may be good, some you might have to go back to the start of the video just to see if I actually did a decent job, which is why I'm going to put that at the end. But let's get back to the actual thing. I've done the hair with a little bit of detail, and that's just made up of small rectangles, and the ears are pretty simple too. Like I said, most of it is circles, and that is literally about it. So you just elongate a circle to make his ears. I really didn't need to do this part where I'm just moving all the layers around. I could have done that after, but doesn't matter. What I do advise, like when you're making the same shape over and over again, don't copy and paste it until you've got the first one perfect. Like you'll see in a minute, I do actually resize the ear, so I shouldn't have copy and pasted it until I'd done that. But there you go, that's just a little mistake, I guess. But the ears are really simple to do on this, so it's not a big problem. It's just elongated circles and with a smaller circle inside of them, just of the skin colour. And the right, well, I guess it's actually his left ear, but that left ear does actually overlap onto his face, which you will see when I compare it to the original picture, whereas the right ear does not, which is why I'm adding this little bit of skin colour back in here so you can see that it actually overlaps. And there you go, there is the emblem complete. You can add some stuff in the background because there's, I think, 4 layers left over. I think there was one back near the start, so you can add a little bit of background if you want, but I just keep it as a white background and save it to my player card. So that is what it looks like as an emblem right there. And now I will quickly show you what it looks like on the back of your gun so you can see it right there. And in the bottom left, that's what it looks like as your emblem in free-for-all. So that is that, and that is going to be the end of the video. I will now leave you with a picture of the comparison of the original picture and mine. thanks for watching, and leave your suggestions for new emblems in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.